Caitlin Clark is widely recognized for her stardom with the Indiana Fever. However, earlier this month, she and Fever assistant coach Tully Bevilacqua became beloved figures in a different way after their visit to the NICU. This neonatal intensive care unit, often filled with critically ill children, can be a place where hope is scarce. Clark's unexpected arrival stirred a range of emotions among the patients and their families. Her heartfelt interaction with one particularly ill child is deeply moving and will bring tears to your eyes. Join us as we explore this touching moment and the profound impact of Clark's visit. It was a heartwarming moment when the basketball star, Caitlin Clark, recently visited the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital. She was seen having an emotional conversation with a young child named Freddie, which was a touching sight. According to a press release, Clark and Bevilacqua introduced themselves to parents, siblings, and babies when they toured both floors of the hospital's NICU. Clark even had the chance to help a NICU baby's sister practice her basketball skills and joined a family celebrating their baby's return home after 40 days. The event also featured hand-signed basketballs and prints of each NICU baby's footprints, which excited the kids. Clark expressed that it was her first time in a NICU and it definitely would not be her last. She further commended the doctors and nurses, calling them heroes and expressing her awe of them. Being charitable has always been noted as Caitlin's strength. She is well known as a woman with a big heart, as she is involved in many philanthropic endeavors. Let's take a look into her life as a philanthropist. Keep watching, it's going to get even more interesting. In March 2022, Caitlin Clark partnered with the Coralville Community Food Pantry in Coralville Lower for a month-long donation drive and meet and greet called Team Up Against Hunger. The initiative encouraged $22 donations, reflecting Clark's jersey number. This effort raised over $23,000 for the food pantry in its first year. The following year, Clark and the pantry collaborated again, generating over $75,000 in just 30 days. However, due to Clark's demanding schedule as the top Women's National Basketball Association draft pick in the spring of 2024, this annual partnership and meet and greet did not take place. By 2024, Clark had helped raise over $100,000 for the Coralville Community Food Pantry, which continues to receive frequent $22 donations. In October 2023, Caitlin Clark launched the Caitlin Clark Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to uplifting and improving the lives of youth and their communities through education, nutrition, and sport. Beneficiaries of the foundation include the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Iowa and the Coralville Food Pantry. Many of Clark's sponsorship and endorsement deals feature pledges of support or monetary contributions to her foundation. As part of Clark's multi-year partnership with Gatorade, the company donated $22,000 to the Caitlin Clark Foundation in late 2023, aligning with her jersey number and birthday. Also in March 2024, with the release of Clark's limited edition capsule collection, Gatorade increased its support by donating $25,000 each to the Caitlin Clark Foundation and the Women's Sports Foundation to help expand girls' access to basketball. State Farm also contributed by announcing a $22,000 donation to the Caitlin Clark Foundation in January 2024, honoring Clark's golden birthday. Additionally, Hy-Vee donated $35,690 to the foundation, celebrating Clark surpassing 3,569 career points at Iowa to become the NCAA Division I women's basketball scoring leader in February 2024. Caitlin Clark's story is one that has inspired many. It would be interesting to take a leap into the early life of this young star. Keep watching. Caitlin Clark's early life and rise to basketball stardom. Caitlin Elizabeth Clark, born January 22, 2002, is a prominent American professional basketball player for the Indiana Fever in the Women's National Basketball Association. Clark grew up in West Des Moines, Iowa, where she attended Dowling Catholic High School. She was recognized as a McDonald's All-American and was ranked the fourth best player in her class by ESPN. During her freshman year at Iowa, Clark led the NCAA Division I in scoring and earned All-American honors. By her sophomore year, she was a unanimous first-team All-American and became the first woman to lead Division I in both points and assists in a single season. Her junior year saw her named National Player of the Year as she guided Iowa to its first national championship game. Clark set Big Ten single-season records in both points and assists. As a senior, she repeated as National Player of the Year, helped Iowa reach the national title game again, and broke multiple records, including the career and single-season points and three-pointers records and the all-time conference record in assists. Drafted first overall by the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA Draft, Clark quickly made a mark by being named to the WNBA All-Star Game as a rookie. She became the first rookie to achieve a triple-double and set the WNBA record for most assists in a single game. On the international stage, Clark has won 3 gold medals with the United States, including 2 at the FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup, where she was named Most Valuable Player in 2021. Known for her extraordinary college career with the Iowa Hawkeyes, Clark is celebrated as one of the greatest collegiate players of all time. She holds the record as the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer and was a 2-time National Player of the Year with Iowa. Her impact has greatly popularized women's basketball, a trend often referred to as the Caitlin Clark effect. Caitlin Clark is the daughter of Brent, a vice president at a product company, and Anne. Anne's father was a football coach and school administrator at Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines. Growing up in the city, Caitlin began playing basketball at age 5, initially competing in boys' recreational leagues due to the lack of girls' leagues for her age group. Besides basketball, she engaged in softball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, and golf before focusing solely on basketball. By age 13, she played in girls' leagues several years ahead of her age group. She joined All-Iowa Attack, an amateur athletic union basketball program based in Ames, Iowa, in 6th grade, and played there until high school graduation. Under the coaching of Dixon Jensen, Clark's AAU teammates included future WNBA player Ashley Jones. Inspired by Maya Moore of the Minnesota Lynx, the nearest WNBA team to her hometown, Clark frequently attended their games with her father. She also admired All-Iowa Attack alumnus Harrison Barnes and became a fan of the North Carolina Tar Heels after Barnes joined the program. That is not all. Clark played 4 years of varsity basketball for Dowling Catholic High School under head coach Kristen Meyer. As a freshman, she averaged 15.3 points, 4.7 assists, and 2.3 steals per game, earning Class 5A All-State Third-Team honors from the Iowa Newspaper Association and All-Iowa Honorable Mention from the Des Moines Register. She led her team to a 19-5 record and the Class 5A state tournament, where they were defeated by Valley High School in the first round. In her sophomore season, Clark averaged 27.1 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.3 steals per game, ranking second in the state in scoring. She was named First Team Class 5A All-State by the Iowa Print Sports Writers Association and Central Iowa Metro League Player of the Year by the Des Moines Register. Clark guided Dowling to the Class 5A state quarterfinals. She also led all Iowa attack to the Nike Elite Youth Basketball League Championship, scoring 23 points in the final. During her junior year, Clark scored 60 points in a 90-78 win against Mason City High School, marking the second highest single game point total in Iowa 5-on-5 girls basketball history. She set the state single game record with 13 three-pointers. On February 25th, she set the Class 5A state tournament single game scoring record with 42 points in a 75-70 triple overtime victory over Waukee High School. Clark led Dowling to the semifinals of the tournament and finished the season with averages of 32.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 2.3 steals per game. She was named Iowa Gatorade Player of the Year and repeated as a Class 5A All-State First-Team selection. As a senior, Clark averaged 33.4 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.7 steals per game, leading the state in scoring for the second time. Her team ended the season with a 19-4 record and reached the Class 5A regional final, where they were defeated by Sioux City East High School. On July 17th, at Dallas, she set a new WNBA record and personal best for most assists in a single game with 19, and also set the record for most points created in a game against Dallas. Clark was named the league's Rookie of the Month for July. On August 18, 2024, against the Seattle Storm, Clark became the all-time leader in assists for a rookie, surpassing Teacher Penichiero's record of 224 assists set in the 1998 WNBA season. Following the Olympic break, Clark averaged 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 9.2 assists in her first 2 games, earning the AP Player of the Week title on August 20th. Caitlin Clark shines not just on the basketball court, but also through her generous heart. Beyond her remarkable achievements with the Indiana Fever and her numerous records, she actively gives back through her philanthropic efforts and her dedication to making a difference in the lives of others. What stands out the most about Caitlin Clark? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Click the next video on your screen to enjoy another profound content from our channel. Imagine you're very sick and know your time is running out. You have one last wish: to say goodbye to your loved ones and leave a mark on the world. You've been a fan of Simone Biles, the world's most famous gymnast, for as long as you can remember. Now, you're facing your final days and wonder if you'll ever meet her. When Simone Biles unexpectedly shows up, her reaction will leave you speechless. Imagine if you had one chance to say goodbye to someone you admired more than anyone else, and they appeared right in front of you. How would it feel? This dream became a reality for Katie Delaney in the most extraordinary way. Join us as we share the touching story of a dying kid who has one final wish: to say goodbye and meet her idol. Katie Delaney grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, where everyone knew each other. Her family lived in a little blue house at the end of Bocaccia Road. Her father, Tom, was a mechanic who came home covered in grease but always smiling. Her mother, Lily, was a schoolteacher who read bedtime stories with a calming voice. Though their life seemed peaceful, it wasn't always easy. Tom worked long hours to provide for Katie's needs, and Lily stayed up late, grading papers and worrying about finances. They shielded Katie from their struggles, wanting her to be happy and dream big. Katie was a bright child who loved drawing animals and dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. Her room was filled with crayon drawings of smiling pets, and she spent afternoons imagining adventures. But at just 6 years old, Katie began feeling unusually tired, with legs that ached and made it hard to play outside. The unexpected twist is coming. Just wait. Lily and Tom noticed the changes, but at first, they thought she was just growing up. Maybe she was catching a cold, or needed more rest. Then, one evening, they noticed something more severe. After Katie fell asleep in her mother's arms, on the couch, she had bruises on her legs that hadn't come from playing. Her skin looked pale, and she had lost weight. Lily's heart sank with worry, and Tom's smile faded. They took Katie to the doctor the next day, hoping it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. After many tests and worried looks from doctors, they were told that Katie had leukemia, a word that sounded so big and scary, especially to a little girl who still believed in fairy tales. The doctors explained that she needed to start treatment right away, and Katie's life changed overnight. The hospital became Katie's new world, filled with bright lights, beeping machines, and kind but sorrowful nurses. Her carefree afternoons of drawing in the backyard were replaced by treatments that made her feel ill and tired. The once vibrant girl who dreamed of becoming a veterinarian is now lying in bed, her drawings swapped for IV lines and medicine bottles. Katie's parents struggled to stay strong. Katie's parents tried their best to be strong for her, but behind closed doors, the weight of the situation was crushing. Tom, always the family's rock, cried in the garage when no one was watching, his hands shaking as he pretended to work on cars that never seemed to get fixed. Lily, who used to sing lullabies to Katie every night, now sat by her bedside, her voice breaking as she tried to keep her daughter's spirits up. They felt overwhelmed by the mounting bills and the confusing medical terms that seemed to shape their daughter's uncertain future. Despite her weakening body, Katie's spirit remained unbroken. She smiled at the nurses, endured the pain, and continued to talk about her dreams of helping animals, finding solace in her stuffed bunny, Mr. Flopsy. Her hope and belief in happy endings gave her parents the strength to persevere. But there were hard days too. On days when Katie was too weak to get out of bed, her once sparkling eyes dulled with exhaustion. Days when the treatments made her so sick that even her favorite cartoons couldn't make her laugh. On those days, Lily and Tom felt their hearts break again. They wished they could take the pain away, trade places with her, or find some miracle to improve everything. In the quiet moments, when the hospital was still and the world outside seemed so far away, Lily and Tom would look at each other and wonder how they would survive if the worst happened. They didn't talk about it much, not out loud, but the fear was always there, hanging in the air like a storm cloud they couldn't escape. As the days passed, the doctors gently told Katie's parents that the treatments weren't working as they had hoped. The news hit them like a ton of bricks, but they kept smiling for Katie, trying to make her last days as happy as possible. Katie, though, sensed what was happening. She wasn't a little kid anymore. She could feel her body growing weaker. Deep down, she knew her time was running out. One quiet evening, Katie looked up at her parents with big, tired eyes. Katie softly told them that she knew she wouldn't get better, but there was one thing she wanted before she left. Lily's heart sank, but she smiled bravely and told Katie they would do anything for her. Katie took a deep breath, speaking barely above a whisper, and expressed her wish to meet Simone Biles to tell her she was her hero. Tom's breath caught in his throat. Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast? Ever since she watched her flip and fly across the screen during the Olympics, his daughter had always admired Simone. Katie cheered every time Simone nailed a perfect landing, and she often dreamed of being that strong and fearless, even though she knew her body couldn't do what Simone could. Lily and Tom exchanged glances. They would do anything for Katie, but how could they make this happen? Still, they didn't let their doubts show. "We'll see what we can do, honey," Tom said, his voice steady despite the panic rising inside him. They turned to the hospital's wish-granting organization, hoping against hope that someone could reach Simone. Days passed, and every time someone from the organization called, Lily's heart would race. But the answers were always the same. Simone was busy with her work, traveling for events and training for competitions. It seemed impossible to get her attention. That happened when hope seemed lost. Days turned into weeks, and Katie's condition grew worse. Her parents could see the tiredness in her eyes, and their hearts ached every time they looked at her. But Katie still clung to her dream, holding on to that picture of Simone as if it gave her strength. Then came the day they had been dreading. The doctors told Lily and Tom that Katie had only a few days left. They knew this moment would come, but the ground had been pulled out from under them. They sat beside Katie's bed, holding her hands and trying to be brave for her. Katie, though weak, smiled up at them, lying in her hospital bed, and reassured her parents with a gentle smile. The next day, as Katie lay in bed, too weak to even sit up, something incredible happened. A quiet knock on the door interrupted the stillness of the room. Lily turned, expecting to see a nurse or doctor, but instead, there stood a woman she had only ever seen on TV, Simone Biles. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Lily gasped, her hands covering her mouth in disbelief. Tom stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. But Katie, lying in bed, recognized her instantly. Her eyes, which had been dull and tired, suddenly lit up with a spark of life. Simone walked into the room, her face filled with warmth and kindness. Simone knelt beside Katie's bed, gently taking her hand. She greeted Katie softly, her voice filled with emotion, expressing how she had heard so much about her and praising her for being such a strong and brave girl. Katie's lips trembled as she attempted to speak, her eyes wide with awe. She whispered in disbelief that Simone was there, having always hoped she would come. Simone responded with a warm smile, squeezing Katie's hand gently, and assured her that she wouldn't have missed this moment for anything. Lily and Tom stood silently, watching this unbelievable moment unfold. The room seemed to glow with a sense of peace and magic, as if, for just a moment, the weight of the world had lifted. Simone Biles sat beside Katie's bed, a beacon of hope and warmth. Katie, though weak, tried to muster all her remaining strength to sit up. Her eyes never left Simone's, her heart pounding with excitement and disbelief. With a frail voice, yet full of admiration, Katie managed to express that she had always dreamed of meeting Simone and considered her a hero. Simone's eyes glistened with tears as she leaned closer. Simone told Katie she was also a hero, having shown incredible courage and strength. She expressed how honored she was to be there with her. Then Simone reached into her bag and pulled out a small, carefully wrapped gift, presenting it to Katie with a warm smile. She mentioned that it was a unique token to remind Katie she was loved and cherished. Katie's eyes widened as she took the gift with trembling hands. Inside, she found a signed, purple leotard from Simone, symbolizing her dedication and hard work. Katie looked up with tears of joy, quietly expressing her gratitude and how much the gift meant. Simone gently brushed a stray lock of hair from Katie's forehead, reassuring her that she hoped the gift would bring a smile to her face. Simone mentioned that she had heard about Katie's bravery and wanted to be there for her. As the two sat together, Simone began to share stories of her journey, her victories, and the challenges she had overcome from an early age to becoming a professional gymnast. Katie listened intently, hanging on to every word. Simone spoke about the importance of never giving up and finding strength even in the most challenging times. The atmosphere in the room was filled with a deep sense of connection. Simone's stories, combined with her presence, brought a sense of peace and comfort to Katie. The room was a sanctuary of hope and love for those few precious moments. Lily and Tom watched in awe, their hearts swelling with gratitude and emotion. They had always wanted to make Katie's dreams come true, but this unexpected visit by Simone was beyond anything they had imagined. It was a gift of compassion and kindness that brought solace and joy to their daughter in her final days. Simone gave Katie a gentle hug as the visit ended, telling her that she had touched many lives and was a true inspiration. She encouraged Katie to keep shining wherever she went. Despite her weakened state, Katie's smile was radiant as she expressed her happiness that Simone had come. Simone stood up, her eyes still moist, and gave Katie one final, heartfelt look. She said she would never forget Katie and keep her in her thoughts and prayers. Simone said her goodbyes and left the room, leaving a sense of calm and fulfillment behind. The impact of her visit lingered, a beautiful and touching memory for Katie, her family, and everyone who had witnessed this extraordinary moment of kindness and compassion. When Simone Biles visited Katie, it made her feel very happy and peaceful in her last days. Katie's family was deeply grateful, and the kindness touched everyone in the community. Simone's visit showed how much one person's kindness can make a big difference, and Katie's story inspired many people to be more caring and loving. As we remember Sarah's special moment with Simone Biles, we're reminded how a little kindness can make a big difference. How can you show kindness today and make someone's day brighter? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it. Simone Biles has now revealed a new chapter in her life that no one saw coming. She's expecting her first child. This news has sent shockwaves through the sports world and beyond, as fans, fellow athletes, and admirers everywhere react to this monumental moment in her life.
3 years ago, I never thought I'd step foot on a gymnastics floor again just because of everything that had happened. But with the help of Cecile and Laurent, I got back in the gym and worked really hard mentally and physically. Even this morning at 7 a.m., I saw my therapist, and there's a time change. So she is so amazing for allowing me to do that these couple of days here in Paris. So just making sure I'm mentally well.
Simone Biles, widely recognized as one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, has a life story that is as inspiring as her accomplishments on the mat. Born on March 14, 1997, in Columbus, Ohio, Simone faced challenges from an early age. Her mother struggled with substance abuse, leading Simone and her siblings to be placed in foster care. However, her grandparents stepped in to adopt Simone and her younger sister, providing them with a stable and loving home. It was under their care that Simone's passion for gymnastics began to flourish.
I think you see that out on the competition floor. And then my goat necklace is just kind of an ode because the people love it and then some people hate it. So it's like the best of both worlds. And I was like, okay, if it goes well, we'll wear the goat necklace. I know people will go crazy over it. But at the end of the day, it is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes because I just still think I'm Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip.
At the age of 6, Simone's life took a pivotal turn when she visited a gymnastics center on a daycare field trip. The coaches noticed her natural talent, and soon she was enrolled in gymnastics classes. From there, Simone's dedication, hard work, and unparalleled skill propelled her to the top of the sport. she quickly rose through the ranks, winning multiple national and international titles.
Beam final is always the most stressful, but usually we have like music or background noise, whatever that may be. And honestly, we do better in environments when there's noise going on because it feels most like practice. So today, like, you could hear some of the Android ringtones going off, the photo clickers, whatever that was. And so, you know, you're trying to stay in your zone. And then people start cheering, and then the shushing gets louder. So really they should be shushed because they're louder than them. I don't know. It was really weird and awkward. And we've asked several times if we could have some music or some background noise. So I am not really sure what happened there. But yeah, not our favorite. None of us liked it.
Simone's breakthrough came in 2013 when she won her first world championship, marking the beginning of her dominance in the sport. Over the years, she has accumulated a staggering number of medals, including 7 Olympic medals, 4 of them gold, and 25 World Championship medals, making her the most decorated gymnast in history. Her innovative skills, such as the Biles, on-the-floor exercise and vault, have been named after her, solidifying her legacy as a trailblazer in gymnastics.
I've been out on that floor so many times competing, so obviously exhaustion and all of that sets in, but we still had to go out and compete one more time today, and it's such an honor to compete with these girls on both the beam and on the floor. Obviously, wasn't my best performances, but at the end of the day, whoever medaled, and that's what's so exciting because you just never know with gymnastics. So I'm not very upset or anything about my performance at the Olympics. I'm actually very happy, proud, and even more excited that it's over.
Beyond her athletic achievements, Simone has been a powerful advocate for mental health. During the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, she made headlines by prioritizing her mental well-being, withdrawing from several events to focus on her health. This decision sparked global conversations about the pressures faced by elite athletes and the importance of mental health. Simone has also used her platform to speak out against sexual abuse in gymnastics, being one of the many athletes who bravely came forward about the abuse they suffered at the hands of former USA gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. Her courage and advocacy have led to significant changes in the sport and inspired countless others to share their stories.
Can't be mad at my performances. A couple years ago, I didn't think I'd be back here at an Olympic Games, so competing and then walking away with 4 medals, I'm not mad about it. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Off the mat, Simone leads a full life. She is engaged to NFL player Jonathan Owens, and the couple has shared their love story with the world, often posting about their relationship on social media. Simone is also involved in various philanthropic efforts, working to give back to the community and inspire the next generation of gymnasts. Simone Biles' life is a testament to resilience, strength, and the power of believing in oneself. From overcoming early adversity to becoming a global icon, she has shown the world what it means to be a champion, both in and out of the gym. What just happened with Simone Biles has shocked the world, as she narrowly missed her 4th gold medal at the Paris Olympics, settling for silver after a costly stumble.
She's still human, and there's a lot of pressure on an Olympic final, and for her to get a gold medal in all those events, so I think it just shows that she is human.
She gets to keep that GOAT chain. Nobody's taking that from her anytime soon.
Simone Biles missed out on her 4th gold medal at the Paris Olympics, but took silver in the floor final after a stumble cost her a medal in the beam final.
Like you said, it didn't start well in that beam earlier today. She came 5th after falling off, and if you fall off the beam, there's no way you're medaling in that event, so not a good start. She ran off to get ready for that floor final, and she got a silver in that. She was beaten by Brazil's Rebecca Andrade, who's now completed a set of all 3 colours of medals at these games, so not what Simone Biles would have wanted. She has already won 3 gold medals here in Paris. It is her 11th Olympic gold medal overall, And she's had an incredible past few years, hasn't she? She suffered from the twisties in Tokyo, which is when your mind and body aren't synced up, which meant she pulled out of the team event for USA, and then she picked up silver medals, but she took a bit of time out after Tokyo to really focus on her mental health, and she's calling Paris her redemption tour. So when you think about everything she's been through these past few years, it really is incredible. And I know we call her the GOAT. She is widely regarded as the greatest gymnast of all time. She's still human, and there's a lot of pressure on an Olympic final, and for her to get a gold medal in all those events. So I think it just shows that she is human.
Simone Biles opens up about why these Olympic Games hold such deep significance for her, revealing the emotional weight she carried.
Simone, you just seem like you were on another level of excitement, of gratitude for this moment this time around. Why were these games so important to you?
Well, it was important to me because nobody forced me to be out there on that stage. I solely did it for myself, and I'm in a really good spot mentally and physically. So doing this for just me, it meant the world.
And you overcame a lot to get here. We all know that. Did you feel any of those demons start to come creeping in the mind again? And if so, how'd you deal with them?
Yes, I dealt with them in therapy. Obviously, you always have those thoughts coming in the back of your head, but just trying to stay as positive as possible, going back to what I know, thinking about my therapy tactics, and it worked.
That's so important.
Yes.
Iconic moment, the podium, bowing down to Rebecca there. Young girls out there today are getting torn apart left and right, torn down. How important was it for you to show the world it's okay to adjust each other's crowns?
No, absolutely. I think it was really important for that moment. Obviously, it was just me and Jordan being me and Jordan, but I know it was really special, and it was very impactful for kids to see that. You win with grace, you lose with grace.
Simone Biles and Suni Lee missed out on medals in their final beam event at the Olympics on Monday, with both gymnasts experiencing surprising falls during their routines.
Simone taking that silver, I want to point out her teammate Jordan Childs took the bronze, and it was because her coaches went and they questioned what the judges had given her as a difficulty score. She had been lower down out of the medals. The judges came back and said, "You're right," and that bumped her up to the third spot. And both Childs and Simone Biles sort of paid tribute, if I can say it that way, to the gold medalist, Rebecca Andrade from Brazil, by sort of bowing down to her like that when they were on the podium. A really nice moment, because remember, all these young women, they compete against each other.
At 27, Biles is even better than she was a decade ago, leading a paradigm shift in the sport of gymnastics.
Ever since she got into the game, American gymnast Simone Biles has been on the highest pedestal of the gymnastics world. From time to time, she has proven that she has what it takes by breaking several unbreakable records in the sports.
Paris Olympics, she was bidding for a record 5 gold medals. Gymnastics legend Simone Biles will have to settle for 3 at these games.
However, this time she decided to take things to the next level, wanting to attempt a vault, which had never been attempted in the history of women's gymnastics. In the blink of an eye, a flip would have proven disastrous for the gymnast. However, thanks to the spotter's immediate intervention, she was saved. How did that happen, and how difficult the vault that Simone Biles decided to attempt was? Join us as we take you through the journey of the professional American gymnast Simone Biles. Simone Biles breaks the world record. When we talk about sports, gymnastics is probably one of the most dangerous, having athletes throw themselves into the air with a breathtaking mix of power and precision, doing routines that demand mental fortitude and require high stakes of agility, balance, and strength, sure is a sight to behold.
The United States had a lot of catching up to do over the weekend in the gold medal department at the Olympics, and it delivered.
However, it comes with a high stake in which the least margin of error could immediately turn fatal in a matter of seconds. Despite the risks of the sport, many have taken it upon themselves to stand at the very top to beat the odds. Such is in the case of the American gymnast Simone Biles. Simone Biles is a female gymnast who you would call an acrobat extraordinaire. No doubt she is strong, she is fast, she is agile and completely cut out for the job. When it comes to the sport, she has consecutively proven time without number that she has rid herself of any fear attached to the sports. However, what happened in Antwerp, Belgium in 2023 proved that even the best gymnasts need more than a brave heart. They need a hand.
And not the day that Simone Biles would have hoped for in the French capital. She's missed out on a 4th gold medal of the Games after finishing 2nd in the floor final.
Apparently, in a bid to perform one of the most difficult vaults in women's gymnastics, it appeared as if Biles was on the ropes. It took the help of her spotter to get things right. If not, no one knew what would have happened. Let's take things back a notch. What could have possibly put Simone Biles in that dilemma? Well, she was performing the Yurchenko double pike. If you so happen to be a gymnastics enthusiast, you should know how much of a big deal this is. As a matter of fact, the word Yurchenko refers to the vault's entry.
Another day, another Olympic gold medal for Simone Biles in gymnastics. She has won the women's vault in Paris, her third gold medal.
The vault was started by a world champion for the Soviet Union, Natalia Yurchenko, in the 1980s. It basically features a round off onto the springboard and a back handspring onto the vault. However, it isn't necessarily as basic as it sounds. To tell you just how complicated this is, in the history of gymnasts, Natalia Yurchenko is the only female to have ever performed this vault.
9.75 for her.
Metric bars, Natalia Yurchenko has had a very good start, about to begin her bar routine.
That aside, we have had men like David Sender, Great Britain's Christian Thomas, China's Yang Wei, Greece's Ioannis Melissanidis, Nguyen Ha Thana of Vietnam, and even Tikhonov of Azerbaijan do their version of this particular vault. Yang Wei, who performed the vault at the 2002 World Championships, had the vault later named after him by the International Gymnastics Federation.
It came as no surprise that Chinese gymnast Yang Wei took home the gold in his home country,
although currently his name is not linked to it in the current code of points. On the other hand, Christian Thomas had to perform in the 2012 London Olympic team final in front of the royals, Prince William and Prince Harry. In the history of the sport, these men proved that they had what it takes. This was until Simone Biles stepped into the playing field. In 2019, she became the first woman to land a triple-double in a floor routine. Still, that very same year, she debuted a double-twisting double backflip beam dismount. Just because she was the first to perform these stunts, they were later on named after her. Pretty cool, right? As if to prove that all of that was way too easy, in 2021, she broke the record of the first woman to perform the Yurchenko double pike at the GK US Classic.
Simone Biles cemented herself as the GOAT, or the greatest of all time. She now has 8 Olympic medals. That breaks a tie.
This is a feat that no other woman athlete has ever dreamed of attempting. You can say what truly makes the Yurchenko double pike is the second flip. A regular Yurchenko pike features just one flip, but a double pike Yurchenko features 2.5 flips. Truly, it doesn't sound like there is much difference in the number of flips. However, you should know performing the latter is totally insane. To perform a Yurchenko double pike, you need to possess immense power to be able to launch very high off the table with your hands. If by some chance you aren't able to launch high enough and finish the second flip,
Simone Biles. The 27-year-old becomes the most decorated U.S. Olympic gymnast in history after winning her 8th medal and her 5th gold during the women's all-around gymnastics final.
there is every tendency that the whole thing could become catastrophic, and in all honesty, it would have been for the gymnastic star at a time if not for the intervention of her spotter. How did things play out for the world-renowned gymnast? Sit back as we take you through the gymnastics floor, where the toughest routines are being performed. The Save by Simone Biles' spotter. Talking about the time when Simone Biles' spotter intervened on her behalf, it all happened in the qualifying round at the World Championships. That was precisely the time when she became the first woman to land the vault in a major international competition. Apparently, Laurent Landy, who happened to be her coach, was taking on the role of a spotter. If you are not aware of this, you might wonder if that is a good thing. Well, it is completely okay and safe even for gymnasts to have a spotter when they perform their flips. However, that is only allowed in training sessions and non-international competitions, not in big events such as the qualifying stage of the World Championship. It's true that in a competition as big as the World Champions, the judges wouldn't have spotters being removed. Still, it doesn't stop them from heavily penalizing the contestants who are to perform the routines and stunts. After all, the belief is that for you to come on a stage to perform any kind of flip, no matter how daring, you must be confident and willing to stake it all. And so, having a spotter around when performing tends to ruin the sense of proper sportsmanship, at least from the judge's point of view. However, let's take a moment to look at things from Landy's point of view. Simone Biles was performing the most difficult vault in women's gymnastics for the very first time in an international competition, a vault that only very few women would attempt. The man probably weighed in on the several probabilities of something going wrong and saw the need to be present when she performed the risky vault. If we are to consider the decision carefully, it was more of a decision by the coach than it was of Biles. And yes, He was willing to let go of a few points all season just to prioritize the safety of the professional gymnast. As a matter of fact, for each Yurchenko double pike with her spotter in close proximity, the judges would always deduct half a point. This continued all through the competition for each time her spotter was present. It might surprise you to know that all through the World Championship in Antwerp, Landy didn't touch Biles even once to render assistance.
Simone Biles, the four-time Olympic gold medalist, she's been in action tonight trying to lead the USA team to victory in the women's event.
But still,